I'm Gallo, and I play Alyssa in Incoming, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So I am so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today we're going to be talking all things Incoming, which is streaming on Netflix right now with Alyssa herself, Ali Gallo. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Ali.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So, yeah, just to kind of start things off again, congratulations on the film. It's really cool to see, I'm glad that we're starting to see some more comedies like this, coming out, on streaming and on the big screen. So it's nice to see you guys have the success with this film that you guys have had so far.
Me too. I feel like I've always been such a fan of comedy, and growing up, like that was definitely something that, you know, I really enjoyed watching, and there's definitely been not as many in the past few years. So I told the Chernins, I was like, you guys are single-handedly responsible for reviving this genre. Like the pressure's on. Like, let's go.
Yeah, so no pressure at all. But I love it. It's like this is, it's one of my favorite genres, like the coming of age, high school, teen comedy. That's like one of my, favorite subgenres. So, but just to kind of to start things off for you, what was your reaction when you initially read the script, about the film itself, but also your character and what kind of like immediately stood out to you?
So I actually originally got the sides for Katrina to audition for. But I read the script and I kind of knew I was like, oh, like I feel like I would be better as Alyssa. But I was like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna do this tape and like whatever. Like I didn't say anything. And then like of course, like I think like a week later, like maybe 5 days later, I got a call and they were like, oh, they want you to read for Alyssa with the Chernin. So I think I was already probably in like the mindset of Alyssa when I was doing whatever I did for Katrina. I think maybe she was a little intense, my Katrina. So yeah, they obviously saw whatever elements of Alyssa in me, and yeah, they obviously I got it. So
Yeah,
went well.
yeah. Yeah, so you kind of like manifested it in a way where you're kind of like, oh, I think I maybe relate a little bit more to this character and made
Yeah,
it
I just
happen.
thought she was funny. I immediately saw something that I could do with her, like more than, any of the other characters, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I felt like it just immediately I knew. Sometimes you get that, like it's not some auditions you have to kind of like find, but sometimes you read something and you're like, I know what I would do with this, like
It's yeah.
immediately. So
Immediately.
that was me with Alyssa. Like I felt like, yep, I know what I want to do with this and I'm gonna do it.
So when you were helping craft this character with both the writers, the filmmakers, and helping her bring her to life, what elements were most important to you that you wanted to bring to Alyssa?
For me, like it was really important that she wasn't like a cliche, like kind of bitchy mean girl. Because on the page, I think it could read that way. Like she's just kind of a rude, like, oh, I care about my appearance, I care about whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
But that was so boring to me. And I think I was more interested in doing something where she felt where the comedy lied in how seriously she took herself and how blunt she is.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
love that.
which I love. Like, I think that's really funny. Like, I referenced a lot of like Aubrey Plaza from Parks and Rec when I was kind of thinking of the direction to take her. And yeah, so that was really important to me. And I think the Chernins really appreciated that and enjoyed my take on it for that specific reason. And then from there, from like that take on it on the day when we're doing all the scenes, we would, banter back and forth, coming up with like alternate lines and alternate things to say, just based on, what they saw me doing, what I was doing, the ideas that I brought to the table. So, I mean, that to me was like the funnest part of the experience was getting to kind of play around with them and with the other actors and having it be so flexible and like that, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not. Sometimes people are just like stand on your mark and do your thing.
Yeah, here's the
Um,
lines.
so that's like my favorite type of experience is when it is really collaborative in that way. Um, so yeah, that's how she kind of came to life.
I love the Plaza influence. Like I can totally see that where you say that now, and that's really cool. Yeah, that you guys got the opportunity to kind of, it was a really collaborative environment, and you guys were kind of able to do your own thing. Like you said, sometimes it's just like, oh, here's a script, like we're sticking to it. So it's good that you guys can kind of like find the character like on your own, like as well.
Yeah, yeah. The Chernins are really my favorite kind of director, because they are very specific with what they want to get, but they're also really excited to see what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
So it really is like a true collaboration, and they're also just so sweet and fun and like just nice. They're just genuine people. So it's a really good environment
It's always
to be.
nice when you have people like that that are so open because honestly,
Yeah.
sometimes the best lines or just like scenes come out of things that it's like, well, this isn't necessarily what we had in the script, but go ahead and do it this way and we'll see how it comes out. And like I feel like sometimes some of the best moments come out of that stuff. So
Right, yeah, and just getting the freedom to play around. Like they're not worried about, everything being exactly how they envisioned, but leaving room for, oh well, what's she gonna do on this one? Or oh, let's have her do this on this one, and just always keeping it constantly in flow and in motion, which I think, they do have such a uh lengthy like TV background, and I know TV is very much alive.
yeah.
When you're doing it, like it does feel like things are constantly changing. So it's to me, it's fun to bring that sort of mentality into making a film
It's
and
film, yeah.
make it less, that we're doing exactly what's on the page, but have room for things to evolve and to change like as we go.
Yeah, it always, I mean, it definitely keeps it interesting for you guys. Now, did you bring any elements of your high school experience to the character overall, or
I think the only thing that I might have referenced would be like just that feeling when you're in high school and you just feel like not secure in yourself,
yeah,
Like you feel like I'm this awkward person and I'm just trying to figure out like how I can feel comfortable in my body and in my personality and not have to overcompensate. And I mean I definitely wasn't I didn't take Alyssa's route in high school of overcompensating by being like very mean and direct and
yeah.
blunt. But yeah, I mean, we all compensate for our insecurities in different ways. So I think everyone can relate to that. If you're secure in high school and you're like, I got everything figured out, good for you, because that was not me.
No, yeah,
So
same here. Not at all. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there. And like I said, that the high school comedy coming of age like subgenre, it's one of my favorite genres. I love classics like American Pie, 10 Things I Hate About You.
oh
Uh,
yeah, good.
what are some of your favorites, in that kind of like genre? And then did you watch any of those to kind of prepare for filming incoming?
To prep for incoming, I actually watched Super Bad,
Okay. Yep.
just because I felt like it was a little similar, and I could tell based on my talks with the Chernins and just like the tone of the script that it was going to be a little more grounded than maybe like your typical more like cheesy high school comedy.
Yeah.
So I think that like tonally seemed like a similar place. So I watched that. And one of my favorite high school like comedy movies is Easy A.
Oh,
So like
great
Emma
one.
Stone to me is like has my ideal career. Like I love her so much.
Yeah, I mean,
Um
she's done
and
everything.
yeah, everything. I mean, she's just so funny, so magnetic, and like in that movie is so good. Like everybody slays that movie, and it's so funny and so fun. That was big for me. Easy A, She's the Man was
She's
really
the
big for
man. Another
me.
good one.
She's the
Yep.
Man was so good, like underrated, so silly, so funny. Like I think that informed a lot of my personality as a child.
There was just so many good ones though, like, like 90s to, I mean, even like 80s to
Yeah,
80s, 90s, 2000s. And then, like I said, we haven't really gotten like a whole lot of them, but the past like couple years, they're starting to, with like incoming, they're starting to make their way back. And I think honestly, the world needs these kind of films. Like we all went through a
I do
lot
too.
with the
Yeah,
pandemic and it's like, we need a laugh.
Yes, we need to laugh. And I think like when I think about the films as a kid that were really like my favorite movies, it was always high school, like comedy, some things and things that don't even take themselves too seriously, like Aquamarine. Me
Yeah,
and my sister loved Aquamarine. Like that is such a silly, fun, like girly movie. And those are important, like important to my childhood, my life. Like those things were so like those are the things we rewatch when we're
yeah,
feeling nostalgic. And they don't have to be, you know, the best films of all time. What matters is that they are impactful to you as, a young person
exactly.
who relates to those kind of things and that lighthearted, comedic things that you go through in your youth. So yeah,
Yeah,
I really hope that there's more. I hope there's more silly rom-coms and girl teen movies and oh my God, Bella and I were literally saying, Bella Ferreira, we want like a version of Incoming, but it's like girl focused. Like
that,
all girls, because so many of these are so like male driven, like all the
yeah.
really raunchy high school movies. So we thought it'd be so fun to do one where it's like all women going through like whatever they're going through.
Yeah, no, did you see it was the last year I think it was a film called Bottoms that came out on
Yes,
Amazon.
exactly. We love
So
that.
so fun, like seeing that in the theaters, it's like I hadn't laughed so hard like at a movie in a
Yes.
long time. Watching Incoming, there was like quite a few scenes that I was laughing like pretty hard as well, but yeah, like just where you mentioned like pretty much like a female focused like film, I could see something like that with Incoming for sure.
No, Bottoms is a great example. More of that, please, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And so out of the characters in the film, if you were going to a party, who could you see yourself hanging out with as yourself, not like as your character, and why would you see yourself being able to hang out with that character?
I think I'd be probably with Connor and Eddie.
There you go.
Night in at home, good movie. Take a drive, listening to the bops, get a sweet treat. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect for me.
Yeah, it sounds like a good night to me too.
Yeah, seriously. They knew what they were doing, okay?
Yeah. Although minus, I mean, they get into a little bit of
Minus their
trouble.
trip to the party. If they had just gone home,
Yeah.
they would have
That
had a great night.
the car scene like itself when they were, when they pick her up, I was just like, holy shit.
That's
Like
the truly I think everybody that I know has said that that is like their favorite scene, like the just that whole sequence with Loren and the boys like is so funny and so outrageous. Like I mean, you can't not laugh at it. If you don't think that's funny,
oh yeah, come on,
you,
come on.
yeah, you're made of stone. Like come on.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I can't imagine like being there for like filming that. That must have just been like so like even like reading the script and just being like, oh, we're really gonna do this, and then actually being there the day of and doing it.
Yeah, poor Lauren was just like covered head to toe in peanut butter for many days on end. So
Uh,
I
I
felt bad for
imagine,
her.
yeah, that probably wasn't too much fun, but
No, but she's such a good sport about it. Like she slayed this movie so hard.
for
She's so
sure. So I'm curious for you, like, what advice would you give your character, going through high school where you've had like your own high school experience?
I think like Alyssa's I mean the biggest takeaway I think from her narrative, like her biggest lesson is sort of just like don't change yourself for other people. And I think that's a pretty universal struggle that we all go through, trying to people please and be what we think people want us to be, whether that's through appearance or personality. And yeah, that's just never you're never going to be happy doing that. I know that I mean I think everybody I go through that still of being like, oh no, like I'm changing myself because I want certain people to like me. Like what am I saying? What am I doing right now? Like,
Yes.
stop. So yeah, I think that just that, and especially in high school when you want to fit in and you want to, have friends and all of that. I think at the end of the day, like you're gonna be happier if you're just true to yourself and
Yeah.
you try your best to not care about what other people think.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, like you said, it's like that time of you just feels like so awkward and everything, and want to make friends, but yeah, I mean, honestly, like you being yourself, you're gonna attract the people that you want to actually be friends
Yeah.
with.
And you know what? If high school, if you don't find your people, like that's okay.
Oh
There
yeah,
is lot of life left
Yep.
after high school. Like it's gonna be okay.
Yep. Yeah, you'll get through it for sure. And so, I mean, you got to incredible cast. You got to work with, Mason Thames and Kaitlin Olson, who play like your family in the film. What was it like getting to work with them and then just, getting to ha like play up that dynamic between like your characters in the movie?
Working with Caitlin was like so surreal. I mean, she's such a legend and she's truly like a comedy machine. Like she just every take like rattling off joke, 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 joke. Like it was mine. I mean, honestly, I just had to sit there and react. Probably half the time I was just like watching her, like just completely just mesmerized by what she's doing. She was amazing and getting to work with her was so fun. I mean, just going back and forth with her, like I couldn't ask for a better a better job.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it was so fun. And Mason's like literally the sweetest like little angel. I mean, he's like truly does have like little brother energy to me. And like to this day, like I still feel like he's like my pseudo little brother and he's just such a sweet, like genuine kid. And it was so fun to get to mess around with each other on set and get to be like mean to him as Alyssa and see his reactions and stuff. It was we had so many laughs. Like we had the best time. And he's gonna be such a big star. Like I can't wait to see
Oh yeah.
everything that his career holds for him. He's so talented and just such a kind, genuine person. Like he truly deserves all the praise and all the things.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I don't know when they release, if they even have like a release date, but like the How to Train Your Dragon, the
Oh,
live action.
no, same. I'm such a huge, I was literally telling you this the other day. I was like, I'm gonna be front row. Like I'm a huge How to Train Your Dragon fan. Like I
Yep.
love that those movies, especially the first one, is so good.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm so excited. Like I can't wait to see Toothless.
It's honestly, yeah, it's one of my favorite like animated series of films like of all time, and just the fact too that I love that they have the original like creator like involved with
Yes,
like the live
yes.
action as well. So yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be, I hope, good. And he has, yeah, a very long career ahead of him. So
oh,
exciting for
for
him.
sure. And as far as you talked a little bit about it like earlier with the working with the directors, the Churn brothers, like what makes them stand out as directors for you, overall? You talked a little bit about it previously, but
Yeah, I think just everything I said, like they're very collaborative and also, yeah, just really genuine, nice, approachable people. Which can be rare sometimes. Like sometimes directors are a little, I don't know, like not standoffish, but harder to connect with. Like they
yeah,
sometimes a lot of directors can be very like kind of in their own world because I mean a lot of artistic people are like that. So
yeah.
they're just such a like a blast to work with. Like so many laughs, so fun. They're yeah, they're I would stand in the background as a tree for them. Like they're great.
And as far as just like overall for the film too, what were some of the like the most fun that you had doing like a specific scene like in the movie? And what are just some of like your favorite memories like overall like as well?
I think my favorite scene was definitely everything that I got to do with Caitlin and Mason, like the family stuff. Like, I just think those scenes were really fun. And obviously, working with Caitlin is just fun. Um, but those were to me like my favorite Alyssa scenes as well. So I think that's also part of it. But them and also the writing in those scenes for Alyssa, so those were my favorite to film for sure. And just in general, like the whole cast, like we all really got on, like all those kids and the adults too, like were so sweet and just not a bad, apple in the bunch. Truly, like we all had such a good time. Like we all are still friendly and like hang out and yeah,
That's awesome.
it was just really fun. It was a
I
great experience.
imagine like being like especially doing like the party scenes and stuff like that must have just been so wild for all of you guys. Those must have been like some really fun days just being on set like overall.
Yeah, so crazy. Honestly, to me, like I was so blown away by the stunt team when in that big fight scene. They didn't even put in like half of what I think was shot from at
Happened.
least from what I could see. Like they were, I mean, that team was so good. And just watching the action was like jaw dropping. It was so cool.
Oh yeah, shout out to the stunts for sure. It's like, I
Yeah,
mean,
shout out to Sun.
some of the stuff that they do is just like it's nuts, especially I'm sure getting to see it like in person. And I can't remember the teacher's name like off the top of my head, but he was so funny in the film. He's like one of the kids,
Bobby.
like, yeah, like and he just like he gets like lit
Yeah,
on
Bobby
fire at
Cannavale.
one
I mean,
point.
what's his character's Mr. Studebaker?
Mr.
Yeah.
Studebaker, yes.
He's also so good. And I didn't get to like we don't have any scenes together, but we did have one day together where like he does half a scene and then it transitions into like me sitting there.
Yep.
So I got to watch him and I was just like again,
That was
just sitting there, not doing my job, just watching this like
so
amazing
funny.
actor.
His like walk of shame when he's like leaving the party and he's just like
Yes.
burnt to a crisp and trying to like get into his car and the thing's like fried.
No, all that makeup too, like, oh my God, like he was such a, I mean, I can imagine like such a trooper for going through all of that and the
Yeah.
water and being so like wet every night and like, yeah, but he was so funny, like
Yeah.
so funny. He's hilarious and he was so sweet and just like a nice, fun guy to work with,
Yeah.
honestly.
What's next for you, Allie? Do you have any other projects that you're allowed to, talk about?
I
And
do. I
okay, awesome.
have. I just finished a show, actually also for Netflix, called Forever, and I don't know when it'll be released, but I'm assuming 2025,
Probably.
because we
Yeah.
we just finished it. So, yeah, that'll be really good. So look out for that. And then I also have a movie. I don't know when it'll come out. I know it's going to festivals, but it's this little indie film I did called I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. And it's really good. It's like a dark comedy. And I love it. I haven't seen it, but I love
Yeah, I love
what we did from what I remember. So hopefully it'll turn out well. But yeah, that'll be doing some festivals and hopefully we'll end up on a screen near
one of the things.
everybody very soon.
Well, I mean, that's exciting. Yeah, going to just like doing like a festival run and stuff like that. So, man, it sounds like, yeah, you're going to be quite busy. You got some, new projects coming up. And where can fans keep up to date with your work, as far as like socials and stuff like that goes?
I'm on Instagram and just my name at Ali Gallo. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, Allie, I would just want to say thank you so much, for coming on here, taking time out of your schedule and coming on here just talking about the film. It was wonderful getting to talk to you, and you are welcome back anytime in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, I'm Ali Gallo, and I play Alyssa in Incoming, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat.